talking about that shit. Oh, you got yourselves a little baby Grogu up there. I see.
We have them all over the apartment.
Really? What are those amiibos?
That one's
Funko.
a Poppet?
The Funko Pop?
Funko
Oh,
Pop, that's it.
there's an even smaller one. Okay. And a twin. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Grogu had kids.
This one's really cute though. Look at him.
Mm.
It's a sad face.
Adorable.
Just like this episode. This episode was super cute. This episode was fantastic.
I'm trying to remember it.
This episode was 50-50.
Because I thought we were going to do stuff last week, so
My-
I watched it. Yeah.
Oh no, but I'll walk us through it. And but yeah, no, this episode was okay. To me, it was.
Are you ready?
I know you're saying 50-50, but me, I'm more on the fence about it. So, episode 6, Mandalorian. Yes, Grogu. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, stop bringing them out. How
many do you have?
I see him walking around in the mirror. Stop! Don't go get more. It's like
The Grogu had kids, a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to fire it off. So episode 6. So we start off with. I'm gonna keep my phone near me.
Right.
Mandalorian starts off in space, and we see a moment of the Mandalorian mercenaries who have what I believe is an Imperial cruiser or something like that. That they commandeered.
Yeah.
And they need to break up a Romeo and Juliet story or a Troy story, whatever you want to call it, of forbidden love on a ship.
Between a goldfish and Cthulhu.
Yeah, legit.
Well, it's a trap.
It's a calamari. It's a calamari, right?
The calamari people, yeah. And the one thing I didn't get from that scene was I don't understand why she was in a vat of water, and then when people showed up, she got out of the vat of water.
I thought that was the coolest thing. I'm like, I thought, anybody who has to live in a vat of water is normally a pretty badass, like,
But what was the
villain or
point?
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Was she just
it's
taking a
like-
shower in front of everybody?
Creeps badass.
I guess she was
like,
just
and then
breathing. I think she was just like breathing or hydrating or like end of battle. She had to regenerate while everyone else has to stay in the dry, cold air of space.
That's what
And
I
then-
thought because her people were just chilling in
Cold
the
air of
regular-
space. Oh man, that breeze in space.
freeze dried calamari for everyone.
Well, that's-
Yeah, so they show up and they it's clearly demonstrated that the Mandalorians are mercenaries. They work for money. They don't give a crap about whatever else is going on. This group of
Yeah.
people. And from there, the scene cuts and we get to Bo-Katan and Din Djarin arriving on Plazir 15. Which is a super... If what you can see, it's a super high-tech planet. From what I can see, well-developed, taken care of. If correct me if I'm wrong, it's not a part of the New Republic, right?
I don't think so.
No, they're a democracy.
They're independent, they're a democracy, and that's
Yeah.
that's why they have the Mandalorians as privateers.
Did we just become
Yeah.
best friends? Yep.
Because he
Oh.
used to be part of the
Thanks for the follow.
Empire or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Imperial.
Right, because on Plazir they have a king and queen, which is Jack Black and Lizzo. I don't know their names, and I'm not going to remember their names.
Jack Black and Lizzo.
Jack Black used to work for the Empire. He was some sort of technology guy or some sorts, technology officer. I'm not exactly sure what he was, but anyways, he was in charge of decommissioning some of their stuff through the program that they had, in which Imperial Chick was a part of, and that doctor in episode 3.
Yeah.
I think it was called the Amnesty Program or something like that. And so they took over Plazir and they fell in love, and now they have a new democratic country with elected royals of some sorts is what they call it, I think. And of course, when they get there, the reason that Din Djarin and Bo-Katan are on this planet is because this is where the Mandalorians are chilling, and they need to have an audience with them. They want to talk to them and figure out, hey, look, we're trying to rekindle our people so we can go and reclaim Mandalore, which sounds like a great episode. and I'm sorry, I'm going to pepper my opinion here as I'm going through this, and feel free for you guys to do the same. But for me, the episode just starts going downhill from there, because immediately we're sent onto a quest of trying to handle a bunch of misfits or malfunctioning robots. And it appears that on Plaisir, robots are the main worker bees of this planet. So people don't need to work anymore. They just indulge in whatever plaisir they want. So, yeah, it's a great name, I tell you. And that's pretty much the gist of the entire of the setup for the episode. From there, we get a pretty sweet cameo, because they said, go check out our securities officer or a droid officer, and we get a little cameo from Christopher Lloyd.
The best.
Which I thought was great.
Yeah.
And he gives them an explanation as to what's been happening, how the droids are malfunctioning, they're getting violent sometimes. Shows them a couple of scenes, and I thought it was really cool how you can see some droids from like Episode 1 and from the old Star Wars, and how they repurposed them and what they could use them for nowadays. I thought it was nice. And he tells them, you need to go see the Ugnuts. The Ugnuts will give you a list of droids that you can investigate and figure out what's going on here. So we get the list of we head down into sublevel 1, as he says, and you find the Ugnuts, which I think are pretty awesome creatures. I like them, honestly, and they do them quite well. And we got a scene where Bo-Katan is down there trying to get answers. Once again, I thought it would be like a buddy cop thing, but it just seems like Bo-Katan's taking the lead quite often. But however, it didn't work out. Her approach didn't work at all, and it turns out that Din Djarin does have experience.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Another one. People are recommending people to watch the stream. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the follows also.
Wait, hold on.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
People are watching us now.
What is going on here? I'm getting a bunch of follows.
Gets up and starts playing drums.
Did we just become best friends?
We were talking about Din Djarin talking to the Ugnuts, right?
Yeah. The dog people.
The dog people?
Well, they look like dogs.
Dog people.
Damn.
I have spoken.
That's cold as shit, man.
You don't find they look like little schnauts and little dog race of people.
English pugs, or
Yeah, exactly. Like they're the working class, so they're the dogs.
Working class pugs.
So after we have that situation, then we get them going over to a shipping yard in order to investigate their first case of malfunctioning droid, and we get a nice scene of abuse. Din Djarin just beating the crap out of droids and pushing them around. Bo-Katan saying, "Stop doing that."
No, you like that droid? Kick.
And I wanted to know from you guys, what did you guys think of them? Because I don't think this was already set up before in Star Wars. But what did you guys think of them trying to humanize the droids, like making them like sentient, if you will, like? Because to me, the droids always function within their capacities.
Kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look at the original movies and everything, they all have personalities, they all have things to say, they all have objectives or objecting opinions and all that crap. So I always assumed that they were kind of like people.
Well, they always
like,
have their personalities and their sarcasm.
Yeah.
And
I always assumed that it was like Overwatch with the Omnics. Like just because they're robots don't mean that they don't have lives, personalities, blah blah. Like they all did their own thing.
Well, yeah, but it depends, right? Like you had. Our first two droids were C-3PO and R2-D2. C-3PO was just rambunctious and like needed a master, wanted to serve. He's a translator. I can do this, I can do that. But he's roaming around. But if you're a droid by yourself, you have no power. So they get picked up by the Jawas. You're kind of like and he was willing to part with R2D2 in the beginning because he figured, well, this is where my life is. So they're just kind of like, okay, low self-esteem. But I guess in a city where there's a bunch of them, after a while, after a shift, they're like, what do you want, droid? Go get lost. Like, okay, thank you for doing your services. Just show up on time because you're programmed to do so. And then when you're done, like,
shut down.
Get out of here. You know?
Yeah.
Just turn off until I need you again.
So, I mean, I thought it brought a new... I guess there's different level of droids. Some are just complete, whatever, autonomous and just doing what they have to do. And others are just programmed to be specific servants. And, like, the droid we see at the castle, he's programmed to, greet people, give appointments, and then... So it was I thought it was a neat way of seeing, like, in a city filled with droids, the droids that have the higher AI or more self-esteem, what they do. They actually go to a club. Okay? Like, I really think that ties into the whole scene where Din Djarin and Bo-Katan are, like, roaming the streets, and, I could have really used a faded out trumpet, like, on a rainy day, and you got Blade Runner walking in the background type of deal. That detective, like very dark detective, like, she was walking and I couldn't find the droids, smoking a cigarette. That's the kind of vibe I got. And then when they walk into that bar and everyone looks at them, and I'm like, okay, this is cute. Like, this is okay, cool. Not to like too much, but I thought it was neat.
But that's it. To you guys, the droids were sentient. They had their own personalities.
Or at least a degree of it. Like, you feel empathy towards a droid that otherwise was not really alive.
It's funny though, because like what we're living today, like as AI is getting more advanced, like a lot of movies do the contrary, like, oh, they're becoming independent and have their own personality. That's scary. Whereas Star Wars is flipping that and saying it's good. They have their own personality. They have their own characteristics. But in real life, we're afraid of that.
Yeah, I'd rather be afraid of it.
Yeah, Terminator.
I don't know.
Terminator gives me a horror movie. It gives me nightmares still.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but because I do remember scenes where they were always saying things like, "Oh, I got to take R2 in the shop and tone down his sarcasm," or like I've heard comments like that, within the movies and TV shows where they're like, "Oh, I need to, reduce your sarcasm to 20% or some kind of crap like that," And
like even
to me,
even in Rogue One,
personalities were manufactured, so that's why I was surprised to see, like, okay, so they congregate, really? It's like,
yeah, no, but in Rogue One. In Rogue One, when they have that unit, the Imperial unit droid, where they reprogram, they still reprogram, and he clearly still has AI because he can make decisions on his own. So eventually, they have, they're like, "Oh yeah, I was reprogrammed," and he's like cool with it. He's like, he's not freaking out like, "You programmed me, and I want to go back to my old personality." It's like, no, I'm programmed. Yeah. So it was kind of funny seeing that scene to a certain extent, to be like, okay, I see where they're going with this. Like, on this planet, droids run a bit more freer than other planets that we've seen. It was an interesting twist. I mean, not twist, but an interesting, like,
okay.
Absolutely. So Din Djarin pushes one of the droids too far. Droid malfunctions, decides to smack him and take off, and then we got a nice little foot chase through the street. All that's coming to mind is the stuff I didn't like, honestly, and it's just like the foot chase. I thought was it looked weird, especially how and I'm sorry to pick on her, but Bo-Katan specifically. At one point, you just see the droid runs, knocks over some barrels. Din Djarin runs, jumps over the barrel, and then Bo-Katan comes over, and for some reason, in the slowest way possible, jetpacks over it. Like, it was so much slower than just jumping over it. I don't understand what that was. And then after that, when the droid picks up a can and throws it at them while they're fighting, again, Din Djarin drops to the ground, dodges it, and she does the same thing, activates one side of her jetpack, slowly goes down and spins around. I don't know if the suit's like restrictive for her, or if the actress is older and she's not. I don't know. I don't know. Well, what it's a stunt double for her, right? Yeah, I don't know. So, but anyways, I thought the scene looked a little funny. But anyways, they take out the droid, and then I find it kind of cool how, like, these little buzzer droids come out and set up like a crime scene. I thought it was nice. And then from there, they find something on the droid, which leads them to the droid bar that you guys were talking about earlier, which is where they drink their juice. I don't know.
Delicious juice.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it does to them. I didn't understand the explanation behind it. I don't know if any of
They
you
said
guys.
that
It's just a fluid, synthetic
lubricates
fluid that. Yeah.
it lubricates them and like keeps them fresh and young, and then it like reprograms the bugs in their programming or whatever to keep them young and fresh so that they don't get like thrown away and replaced by humans.
Wow, Star Wars sexualized Windows Update. So that's strange. Okay,
Let me just
so
put my mouth on this.
fuck COVID. Let's all drink from the same straw. Like they all had straws connected from the same jar and stuff. It was funny. It was bizarre.
You get robot jerks.
Because they only sell one thing there, which is the whatever it was called.
Yeah, I forgot the name of. I forgot what it's called. I just called it the juice for now. That's what it is. The juice.
That's Pro Plus.
Grab the juice.
Pennzoil Plus.
So, in the bar, as they're speaking to the bartender, Bo-Katan mentions to Din Djarin that, hey, we're not going to do this your way. We're going to do it my way now. Which is like, we're not going to just walk in here and push these droids around. We're going to ask them questions and treat them like people. Which gets them some answers. And we get a nice little explanation from a droid as to why they would remain loyal to what they call... What they call us? Organisms? Because the organisms created us and they asked so little of us and we last forever. We don't mind taking care of them, I think was the explanation. Which I thought was actually kind of nice. It was a nice way for them to look at it that way. But then again, they're programmed to look at it that way.
It closes the point of what I was saying earlier, right? Like, because CPO was always saying, "Oh, thank the creator," right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, and then thank the creator of this and that and whatever. It's like, so to them, it's like the humans or whatever are their gods. So at this point, they're like, at least they have that understanding of like, they created us. They can still take us apart. So let's just try to be as useful as possible. So it closes that gap as to what they do on their off time and why wouldn't they but why wouldn't they just take over? But I guess the droids that are like have weaponry and whatever are less AI and more like have to follow programming versus like a trash can like R2D2. Like just give him AI, like let him figure it out because I don't want to keep programming this kid. Like let him learn. I don't know.
And
levels, right? Levels.
And from there, from the droid bar scene, we figure out that one batch of this juice was tainted, which leads us to go back to some kind of droid moratorium. And in there we find I don't know, Lieutenant Gender Studies, and she's in charge of the place.
Lieutenant Gender Studies.
I don't know. And she decides to show them the body, and this other little floaty droid thing comes in and attaches itself to the dead droid, which consumed the poison and it infected it, which is why it attacked them. And Din Djarin whips out his dark saber and slices it in half. And after a quick analysis,
sluggish swing.
Yeah, it's funny because as he swings it and it hits the ground, like after he cuts the droid in half, you just hear clunk on the ground. So after all that, after an analysis of the liquid that was in the droid, there was some writing in it, which is convenient. There was writing in the liquid which told them that, hey, it turns out that the head of security or technology for Plaisir is responsible for this, or he ordered that batch at least.
It was a good set of detective skills.
Yeah.
It was a great set of detective skills.
That's how crime works. That's why we have no crime anymore.
Good detectives.
So yeah, after that we get our Mandalorians head back to Plaisir, their main base, and we arrest Christopher Lloyd. He goes, he sees Lizzo, Jack Black, Castaway on the Moon, and then they're granted the audience, and honestly, they granted the audience where Bo-Katan and Din Djarin can go and speak to the privateers. I honestly fucking forgot. I was like, oh right, you're doing this for a reason. I completely forgot. That's how much I turned off when I was watching this episode.
Yeah, because then you would have to listen to Lizzo talk again with that great acting chop she has as she holds.
We will get there.
I have a lot to say about it.
Oh my god!
And
it's like she's reading cue cards or something.
So after they arrest him. She grants the audience with the Mandalorians. For some reason, she knights Grogu. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And
I think just because.
yeah,
This is just because. Oh, it's Lizzo knighting people. Isn't that
I'm pretty
cool?
sure it was a marketing thing because there's going to be a Lizzo/Grogu toy out there at some point. But anyways,
Ugh.
and after that, we finally see Bo-Katan go over and try to reconnect with her people, which is not going so well. And she challenges, I forgot his name, Wolf something, the guy who was in charge of it.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, I said yes.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, she challenged him to fight. They duke it out. And I believe, yeah, she does win the fight in the end. She does successfully beat him.
Twice. Yeah.
And however, they're still reluctant because she doesn't carry the Darksaber. And then our character Din Djarin gives her the explanation as to why she's actually the rightful owner of the Darksaber. Which, to be honest, I thought about. I was like, wait, but he shouldn't be having that anymore because he was defeated by those things on Mandalore, and then she saved his ass. Which to me makes sense that she's the rightful owner of it. And then we get a great scene of her taking the Darksaber, turning it on. Camera zooms in on her while equally pushing Din Djarin out of the shot, and the episode ends that way.
I would have loved that shot.
And then the episode ends that way. So in a nutshell, that's what I have. That's a really basic rundown of what happened in the episode from A to Z. And so obviously, the big question I want to ask first, before jumping to Lizzo, because Lizzo's big, but she's not the big question. I can make that joke because I'm fat, and so it's Bo-Katan. So I want to know what you guys think about the episode in the sense of how it's structured, Din Djarin and Bo-Katan. Do you guys feel like it's a good chemistry between the both of them? Do you guys think that it's taking away from Din Djarin? Do you guys think it's diminishing Bo-Katan's story? How it's not setting up for her spin-off properly? I want to know what you guys think.
I think it's clunky.
Clunky.
Yeah, it's clunky. That's the description I'm going to use. Clunky.
Extrapolate, please.
I think it's just clunky. Like, you have Din Djarin, he apparently the sword weighs like 5 billion tons to him, and he just clunkily handles it, while she just picks it up and all of a sudden easily uses it. You have her reuniting with everything. I don't know. It feels clunky to me. It doesn't feel like it flowed into fruition where you're like, okay, I'm rooting for her, and there you go. There's the outcome. It's more like, oh, there she is. Oh, she kind of helped. Oh, there she is. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, there she is. She wins. I don't know. I feel it's clunky.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. It just feels clunky.
He's
like if this was a book, she would have been in the background. She would, oh fuck, you're still here, yeah, and I'm commanding people now. Oh, that's cool. Like that's how it feels to me. She still feels like a background while being pushed to the foreground. And then, like Dan was saying, how he feared that the Mandalorian wouldn't be a part of his own show and just kind of got pushed to the side, and then he just kind of got pushed to the side, literally in the shot. I don't know. It feels clunky.
Yeah, fair enough. And
I don't know.
Johnny has a good point. He said, like, the Mandalorian, it's not necessarily like Din Djarin. It's like the Mandalorian, so who's in charge? And it was kind of like easy. Like, they just handed it to her, like, hey, by the way, this is yours, so here.
Well, I completely understand that point, but therein lies the point. They just handed it to her, and it's not like she built up to it. Like she saw a mythical beast, and then she apparently picked up the Darksaber that he can't even use for whatever reason. I don't actually know the reason. And then she does X, Y, Z, and then all of a sudden, like she didn't really prove anything. She just helped out Djarin and then beat the one guy, whereas the entire time Djarin's doing all the heavy lifting.
But, like, in this episode specifically, like, it really seemed that way. Because every time she would try to help, it was kind of just like, Din Djarin was like, take a seat, I got this.
Yeah.
Just proving why he's better than her almost.
Yeah. And then he just gives it up. And to me, it seemed like a flimsy as fuck reason to give it up.
Because there was a scene
like,
where...
I happened to got beaten by this one guy because he ambushed me, and then she came and helped me out, which I've done for her repeatedly in the past. It seemed like a clunky reason to just get the Darksaber and become the leader again. Like, it doesn't feel organic to me. It doesn't... If I were in the background, I would be like, you didn't prove shit.
Sorry, Joe, we
Sorry,
didn't catch you.
No, I mean, well, whatever. If you guys are still continuing, go because I have my opinions on that.
No, actually, go ahead. Go for it.
Okay. I mean, with the exception, we won't talk about the Lizzo issue and all that, whatever. But throughout the episode, I just felt that Din Djarin and Bo-Katan were like a married couple, like their first mission together, partners, detective. We gotta find the droids, and it's like, okay, well, listen,
The off
you know,
trench coats.
Bo-Katan was kind of on her binge back in the day. She left Mandalore. She's like just raiding people, whatever, doing what she has to do to survive. Well, Din Djarin has always trying to he's been keeping the way, and so he's made so much more contacts. He understands more, and I found that interaction was her, trying to understand how much more she can still learn from him. And her way, his way, she's just still trying to keep the peace, and he's just like, yeah, I got this, like, don't worry. But he's not telling her, like, listen, you have no idea what you're doing, you're an idiot. He's just like, listen, I can do my fair share, we can work together. But at the end, remember, his leader there, the armorer, told her, like, listen, if you think you really saw the beast, and then she obviously believed that she wasn't lying. She's like, our prophecies say that's a good thing, and you came to us without your helmet, and I know a lot of people that strayed don't have their helmets, so you have to walk both paths. You have to break our laws in order for us to be strong again. And this is what I understood when she sent her on her quest, and she's taking the quest really seriously because she wanted to have both signets on her armor, and to which the armor is like, no, yeah, you're the real deal. You, for the fact that you want to continue honoring the Mandalorians and keep your House of Honor, the flight owl, white owl, whatever it is in her face. And so she's like, listen, you're the one to ignite us because the armorer knows we need to reproduce and we just can't wait till everyone just keeps having babies. We need everyone else who's strayed. We need the shepherd to go back and who better than Bo Jaren. And so
Bo Jaren?
Din Djarin, sorry. Bo-Katan.
Okay.
Sorry. They're married in my head. They're married in my head.
I thought he was doing like a Brad Angelina thing. I was like, okay.
No, yeah,
Din
but
Djarin.
that's what it is. That's what it is. Perfect. So at the end, when he sees her fight and he's looking at her like, this is what I got out of it. Like, he sees that she's willing. He's like, you're on a quest. You're willing to die to unite these people. He's like, okay, she's serious about it. She's super, and this was her crew back in the day, and they say it in the train all the time. This was my crew. They follow this guy. We don't know. I have to challenge him. And not only does she beat him once, she beats him twice in the fight, and she doesn't want to kill him. She wants him to yield. And so not only does she disgrace him in front of everybody, Din Djarin's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is actually yours because you never asked for it back when I technically lost it, and you have the right to it, and you never asked the right for it. She said, hey, it was not like, hey, that's mine now. She never claimed it. She left it. So he's like, everything's falling together. We need these people because he's a true Mandalorian. He wants to bring back the people. He wants to grow Mandalore, and he sees her doing this for the honor. It's all about the honor at this point. So he's like, here, just take it. He goes, I can't wield it anyways. He's having a hard time after that battle of just like, it's just a heavy axe. Well, that's the thing, but she's had the Darksaber before, and she knows how to wield it. So it's like it belongs to her. It always did.
But
so he's like, take it, because I know that this is what the people need to see for us to grow our people.
To be fair, Din Djarin only offered the Darksaber after he saw that people still weren't willing to follow her.
Which doesn't that kind of insinuate he carries the load still?
He didn't do it for her. He did it for her, but for his own people, because he's a Mandalorian, and he's like, these are a good group of people that need to come back. And Bo-Katan believes in them. So he's like, I believe in her because my armor believes in her, and I believe in Mandalore. So this is the way. That's what it is.
I thought the sentiment was definitely there, and it was definitely good. It's just how they went about it is just, to me, it's clunky as fuck.
Well, I mean, that's the whole series, right? I mean, we had a whole clunky. I was just happy to see that scene because I was just waiting for it. Because just, and you know what? It wasn't actually Lizzo. You guys wanna like shit on Lizzo? Go for it. It's not Lizzo that I want to shit on. It's not her.
To me, no, it's just Lizzo was her own category of cringe.
Yeah.
you know, with the, I don't know if it's just overacting or just belting out lines or whatever, and it's just, I don't know.
Overacting? No, I'm sorry. No, it
No,
wasn't
I just-
overacting. It wasn't
horrible.
acting at all.
The script is horrible. Come on.
No, the script for the episode was garbage.
We
All the
welcome
lines
you
were
to
not good.
Planet. We can't wait for your services.
Fucking,
oh, look, little
fucking
Grogu.
Din
Isn't that-
Djarin walking through
Ugh.
the droid bar, and everyone sounds like, I don't think they get many of our kind here. It's like, no fucking shit. It's a droid bar, you know? Like, you have to state the obvious like that, you know what I mean? Like, I thought the writing was really bad in this episode.
Dude, fuck are you doing in here, Flashback? Get the
No, for
fuck
real.
out.
And like, there were such stupid scenes. I'm gonna pick on Lizzo because she was fucking trash, and that's why she belongs behind the mic and not in front of a camera. But straight up, man, like she wiggles a fish and does that kissy pouty face, and Grogu force jumps out of his basket into her lap and starts eating this shit, and then after that he gets knighted by her, and at one point she has that conversation with Christopher Lloyd to try and make him say like, oh hey, we could maybe perhaps I could forgive you one day, but until then you'll be outcasted on this moon and so on. And the way she was delivering her lines, it was like she woke up fucking stoned and forgot, and like someone had to tape the lines onto like the intern's forehead that was standing in front of her so she could read it, you know? Like it was so bad. Like, and honestly, Jack Black, I don't like Jack Black to begin with, but sorry, I'll let you guys go now.
Well, I actually went on Lizzo's Instagram like while we were watching it because I'm like, what are people saying about this? And did she even like post anything about it, right? Because I mean, for Star Wars, it's an opportunity to get Lizzo's fan base watching Star Wars, and for Star Wars people to go see Lizzo maybe, you know, and start listening to her stuff or like giving her a follow or whatever. And then I started reading the comments because she posted a picture and she was like, hey guys, I'm on Star Wars. And like some comments were like, oh my god, I'm so obsessed. Like the pair we never knew we needed, Lizzo and Grogu, yay. And like just like super happy, like I'm gonna start watching Star Wars now. I have to, like, you know, really supporting Lizzo, so now they wanna watch this for Lizzo. And then the other side of it was people taking time out of their day to go on Lizzo's account to say, why are you in Star Wars? Nobody asked for this. We don't want you here. Get out. Nobody asked for this SNL skit. Like
SNL skit.
Oh,
like,
honestly, that's what it looked like.
Pretty bad.
it was really bad.
And now we knight you.
Exactly. Like it was literally horrible. But like people took the time to go on her page and comment, and I mean she's getting paid either way, right? So
Yeah.
But to me, this really diminishes the show, and it shows you that, like what the showrunners or like the people in charge of LucasArts are trying to do with Star Wars. And that was the question. My question wasn't going to be, you know, was Lizzo trash? My question was going to be more along the lines of, what do you guys think of Star Wars injecting celebrities in the show like this for these episodes? You know, like Jack Black, like Lizzo, like Christopher Lloyd.
I don't find it really.
Sorry, go.
Oh no! Actually, go ahead. You first.
Yeah, you wanted to make a point earlier. Sorry.
No, that's fine. They have to do it with a bit more, I mean, tact, and you have to, like, certain things clash with each other. One, I mean, it's not Lizzo that I have an issue with. She didn't act more or less than what I expected. I didn't think it was going to be some crazy performance. They needed an over flamboyant queen who was just happy and in love. Yeah, exactly, and that's what she was. And then she's like, "Oh, Grogu is so cute."
So dull, flamboyant. I've seen fucking more flamboyant wallpaper.
Okay, maybe it was her dress and whatever, and she's all, you know, then she fit the part perfectly for my taste for that type of character in this new Star Wars universe. But her husband, who you tell me used to be Imperial, and you're just a softy little, oh, I've changed my ways and blah blah blah. It's like Jack Black was just, he didn't need to be there. His that type of character was too much. It was clashing. Every time he spoke, I'm just waiting for him to go, you know,
burst out into song.
Burst into a song, like, exactly, like, just a little, like, and I'm like, stop talking, Jack. Just say your two little lines, talk about the piece. Stop. He overacted that whole part, that whole scene, and I guess that's what they wanted. So, like, I'm trying to focus on Lizzo. I'm trying to focus on him. I'm trying to focus on the character itself, and I'm like, how are you at all in the Imperial, you have no backbone. Like, there's no way you could be in the Imperial.
Well-
You should have been a stormtrooper that died in the first movie. Like the first opening scenes. Oh, I just like that's who you should
What
have been.
sucks is that I don't think Jack Black overacted at all. I think Jack Black just played Jack Black.
Overcasted. That wasn't the part for him. He should
I
have
didn't
been
feel
some
like
guy,
taking it seriously.
some
You're right.
smuggler in the back bar who gets shot or causes problems, makes a funny joke. That shouldn't have been him.
He's not an Imperial technology officer or whatever the fuck.
It was too lovey-dovey. It was like you have all these droids, but I get it. They're trying to show that like this system was too dependent on droids, and that's why he's like, it's embarrassing. We can't. We got the Mandalorians because they have to come in and they have to kind of help us because the droids, they do everything. They wipe our ass. So what do you want me to do? Shut them down? I can't. And then they send them to go see Christopher Lloyd, who played his part perfectly.
But see, that's a generational thing, because when I saw Christopher Lloyd, which I didn't even know his name before, I just knew it was from Back to the Future because we watched the movie not long ago.
But that's what makes you better than everyone else.
But what...
I don't think Christopher Lloyd has that kind of star power, though.
Not long ago, I wouldn't have made the connection. Whereas my generation, when I see Lizzo, I'm like, oh shit, that's Lizzo. Like, I'm not saying I wanted her to be there or anything, but it appeals more to my generation, whereas you middle-aged men prefer to see Christopher Lloyd because you grew up watching movies that he was in.
It's also because he's a better actor.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think.
But Lizzo is not an actress.
No, I agree with her point.
I actually have no issues with Lizzo being there and how she acted.
Lizzo's there to
it was Jack Black who threw it off for me.
Jack Black is just whatever. Jack Black is just it because Jack Black's in it.
It was the wrong character. It was bad casting.
Absolutely, and I don't disagree. But it's Jack Black, and like sometimes, like fuck, you saw Tim Meadows. You think Tim Meadows was great? Do you even know who Tim Meadows is?
You talking to me or Allison?
Anybody really? How
you
know? Do you know? You watch Saturday Night Live? Just
of course, I love Tim Meadows.
Yeah.
But like the younger generation's not going to know Tim Meadows. They'll like barely. Well, they'll probably know Bill Burr at the very least.
Yeah.
But like Christopher Lloyd, like these are just people who are in it just to give like a little extra flavor to our old heads because we grew up watching Star Wars. We know who these people are, et cetera, et cetera. But they also need new eyes because they realize how shit the movies are, and they need viewers. So they bring in people like Lizzo. Like I heard, like I don't even know how accurate this one is. Like something about Ed Sheeran, but I don't know about that. But anyways, like they're gonna bring people.
Yeah, he was in there.
He was definitely in Game of Thrones. But anyways,
that's right. That's what I'm thinking of.
They have to bring eyes so people will see it. So they brought Lizzo. I don't know why Lizzo and not like.
But Disney's always done that. So that's classic Disney.
Wait, Johnny said that they should have replaced Jack Black with Joey Diaz.
Oh my god!
Wait, who's
I
Joey
would have liked that.
From Blossom.
One person on your side.
Hold on, just
you know the Italian.
yeah. We need something to happen.
Yeah, exactly. if you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, you might know him.
To be fair, if he was in it and with Lizzo, I feel Lizzo could have feeded off his kind of thing, as opposed to Jack Black. Like with Jack Black, she looks goofy, but with Joe Diaz, she might have actually pulled something.
Joey Diaz would have pushed Lizzo in the background. She probably wouldn't have any lines, which would have been fine with me.
Entirely possible, but like I don't know, because you always hear about actors like feeding off other actors to do a better job or to get a better vibe.
You're not doing a better job when you're just reciting a Disney short. And Jack Black, he's got so much energy just in himself that it was hard to follow along when he was talking. It was just
it was goofy.
Exactly.
It was goofy, but I think
Disney, right?
They might have done it on purpose.
Disney. Sorry, it's classic Disney to cater to the children, but throw in a joke or two for the adults.
Yeah,
you see it in every classic Disney movie where there's a joke that's going to go over the kid's head, but every adult in the theater is going to start laughing because they're like, "Oh my god, like that's hilarious!" Like for whatever, like.
You're not going to get it yet.
That's not mayonnaise on Mommy's pillow. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
That's not hair gel.
But shit like that. But
did Josh just freeze? Did we just freeze the?
No.
What?
No.
Oh, I think
he froze.
He froze. Did we freeze?
You guys freeze.
I think he's frozen still.
Yeah.
This is perfect for editing. I could just zoom in on that face. Oh man. But no, and honestly, I dislike Jack Black. I don't even like Jack Black movies, man. I don't think he's that good.
Nah, he comes off as goofy, and the whole thing came off as goofy, which I think was, the intended outcome or whatever, but I don't know.
The thing that pissed me off the most about it was his first line. His first line in the whole fucking show pissed me off the moment I heard his voice. He's like, "Come, have a sip." I'm like, "The fuck is this? Sesame Street?" What is that? I was like, I don't want to watch this crap.
You want cookie?
I was so annoyed with it.
Come have sip.
So, but like, what do you guys think about Star Wars injecting? Because my problem is, I feel like the fact that they injected celebrities in the show, like Christopher Lloyd, Jack Black, Lizzo, and all these people, it took away from our main characters. You know, the spotlight was no longer on them. Yeah, I know.
I'm just imagining the editing, it's slowly coming closer and closer, but just in his box. Everybody's else's fine. It's just him slowly.
Like
getting
I could
closer.
I could just edit in my question and say, "Oh my god, I thought Lizzo's scene was bad," and just cut to Joe's face. He disagrees.
Oh
But yeah, to that point that I heard, that's exactly what I'm just trying to say. 3 too many. They clash with each other.
I just hope that's it. I hope that's it for the rest of the season. I don't want any more.
Oh, I don't know if
cameos.
that's it. I like to see one at a time, maybe 2,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like all 3.
Well, to be fair, if you're a wrestling fan, it would have been 4 Sasha Banks as the black chick Mandalorian.
Yeah. I don't think people. Yeah, no.
Well, if you get maybe out of the 100 people who just followed you, maybe one of them might be a wrestling fan.
Oh God. Okay. He can't see the chat. So yeah. So apart from that, I wanted to get an overall rating from you guys of the episode. What do you think of it? So we'll start with Ali.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen like the whole show, right? Like, I just saw like the last few episodes or whatever.
Which is great. So if you had to base your experience off this episode, what did you think of this show?
Of this episode alone, probably like a 4 out of 10.
Below average TV. Damn.
Yeah.
7.5. 7 out of 10. Damn, for Static.
Who gave it a 7 out of 10?
Static Terps.
How could that be? I'm Static Terps.
Yeah, I know.
How is this possible?
What about you, Joe?
50-50. 5 on 10.
50. 5 out of 10.
You gave a rating on 10. Guys, this is a revolution.
I'm taking
Usually it's out of 4. Maybe it's a 2.5 stars.
Give it a 2.5.
Oh, fine. It's 2.5 pies that Lizzo didn't eat out of 5.
Starships. It's
That
Imperial
the other
Star.
that Jack Black didn't eat out of. So half for Jack Black, half for Lizzo.
What about you, Josh?
I was hovering around a 7, and then I was hovering around a 6, so a 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 6.5. There were some things I didn't like, and then there were some things that I thought a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, I thought the whole robot thing was kind of like how, well, 2 different things, like the rich class and the poor class, and how you have dependency on this class, but you don't want this class to get better because this class will start losing things. And then it just made me think about like dependency on technology and social media and everything. It's just really any kind of situation where a bunch of people will just get completely screwed if just this disappears. I don't know. Give me a couple vibes like that.
Kind of like how we lost
social, whether it be talking about technology, whatever. What's sorry?
Kind of like how we lost electricity this weekend. That class of people.
Class people. I don't know. I got some things, and then obviously some things I thought could have been way better, like the whole Bo-Katan thing. I thought it could have been a little better prepared. Like maybe if the next episode she got accepted, but this episode remained a little more focused on, I guess, the robot uprising. Yeah. But I don't know. There's some things I thought could have been better. Bo-Katan's acting always annoys the shit out of me sometimes because she always makes this face, whether it's I don't know if she's turned on or needs to take a shit, but she's always like.
No, but to be honest, I
every fucking time,
it's
and it annoys the piss out of me. What?
It's
What'd you say?
redheads.
It's red. I don't know. I don't. It's just she keeps giving this stupid look, and I'm like, you look like a better actor with the helmet on. I feel the emotion with your helmet on, and then she takes it off, and then I'm like, what the fuck is that face constantly? She has such a bland face.
But she has a bland but a smug looking face. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And,
but
my problem with her is I don't know this actress. I never looked her up. But it seems like she might have a lot of Botox. Like she can't express too much maybe right now. I don't know. I'm just saying.
She's supposed to be smug?
No,
I really don't know.
I think she's a good-looking redhead who plays Bo-Katan properly, and now Bo-Jaren. Because you guys have to watch Rebels. Because which we didn't talk about in the last episode, and I'm just kind of like squeezing in my little point here, is that we see Zeb in the bar.
Right.
And we have to talk about that because Ahsoka's coming out soon, and there's so much Rebels in Ahsoka, which is beautiful. But that's it. That's the only two things I want to talk about. Bo-Katan is doing what Bo-Katan does. She had everything, she lost it. She had everything, she lost it, and now she's getting it back in a what she feels is a purified way. So this face that she makes, it's okay with me. I have spoken.
Oh
damn! Podcast over.
Oh man! So all I'll say is, for me, it probably sits at a 4 out of 10.
4.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy it, and if I had to introduce someone to the show, and this was the first episode I'd show them, I wouldn't be surprised if they say I'm done with this. I'm not watching another one. You know?
It was a filler episode.
I do agree with that sentiment.
It was a filler episode, 100%. Because it's just weird. Because in the other episodes, like we said, the pacing is always good, right? I feel like the pacing is always good with the show. Like, Din Djarin falls in the water, gets trapped, falls in the cave, gets trapped. They save him. Blah 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 blah. Pirates attack the city. They establish a new Mandalore home. Like the pacing is always good. But in this one, they go to a planet. They stop the robots. They rekindle with the Mandalorians. And but for some reason, it just feels dragged out.
It was exaggerated. The whole reason for them to go, we'll give you access.
Yeah.
But you need to go on this side quest.
You know what I think? It's just, the whole robot thing. No, because now that you mentioned that, it feels dragged out. Because, like, when I was originally looking, I was interested because it did feel, like Joe said, like a little noir crime drama. You're like, ooh, who did it? What's going on? And then the answer was just, it was nanobites in the spike drink, and that's why, because he did it. And you're like, oh, cool. It wrapped up quickly.
Yeah.
And I didn't find it had enough build-up. That's why I was saying, like, it could have benefited just being longer, and you cut the Mandalorian part out and make that the next episode where she proves herself throughout the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Remember, it's kind of, I think we're missing a point to that, is that it still didn't explain why he did it, right? It was kind of like a vague explanation, like, well, I'm still loyal to the Imperials, and there's other that think like me, and we go back to the scientist chick who killed.
He was loyal to Lizzo's family, who were anti-imperial. He didn't like Jack Black's character. He said ever since Jack Black's character's been here, everything's been wrong.
You freezing?
No. All right.
Sorry, guys. You kind of got
my theory went out the window. It's okay.
He's like, it's now 2 Ewok shits out of 1 lightsaber charging in a plug in a wall. It's like
looked at the wall. Fuck, my USB didn't work.
Can you imagine, like, Jedi?
I like this episode, and I half liked it, and I not liked it. It just made fun of me. So, never mind.
Can you imagine Jedi's go to people's house like, you have a charger or some shit so I can charge this thing? It's like
they fight the New Order.
Oh man. So yeah.
3 bars.
I don't. How many episodes are left? Out of curiosity, anybody?
I don't
know by any off chance. I think it's 2. I think there's 2 episodes left.
2.
Yeah, and I think this is where it needs to ramp up. Don't give me a filler here. You know what I mean?
No,
well, there's gonna be a final battle. I mean, there's something cooking up with the Imperials, and this, like, it's not just her, right? It's not just the same character I was referring to, Mrs. Side Shaved Haircut, who like zapped the spectacle doctor.
Yeah.
There's clearly more of them, and now that the Mandalorians are there, this is how I think I'm going to just predict and project. This is how they're going to make their name. She's going to get her thing. They've got now land. Now they have enough people, and now they're going to have to do something that the whole, maybe the galaxy or their sector or their parsec or whatever is going to notice and be like, "Hey, Mandalore's back on the spot. Mandalore's back on the map." So we're going to have a crazy boss scene. Something, and the Mandalorians have to do it. It's called the Mandalorian. I mean, and then Grogu's gonna have to have his little split because it was.
Well, I don't know about that because it's funny. I just thought about it, and I wanted to mention it. It's that, I follow a lot of the drama that goes on behind the scenes with the development of LucasArts and all that stuff, and at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. They send Grogu off with Luke Skywalker to train to become a Jedi and master his ways and that kind of stuff, and that was supposed to be it. Grogu's story was done.
Oh, really?
And when that happened, LucasArts wasn't happy about that. So Book of Boba Fett, that's why they had 2 episodes dedicated to just Mando, so he can go collect Grogu, bring him back. So right now, I feel like season 3, they're in scramble mode. They're trying to figure out what the fuck do we do with Grogu. We didn't write him in this season, Because if you think about it, Grogu is nowhere in this show. He's not in this episode either, apart from eating fish next to Lizzo's tits and being knighted. That's it. That's all he does.
Yeah.
He has no story arc anymore. He had one moment, I think it was in episode 3, where he had a flashback to Order 66, and that was it. I haven't seen Grogu do shit after that.
I mean, what can we expect him to do to be... Besides be Din Djarin's little sidekick who can do the Force sometimes.
He doesn't even do that.
He stopped his training. He cannot grow any faster.
He did it when Lizzo was playing the ball. He went like this, and then the ball went through all the things, and she won, and they were like, "Yay!"
Right.
That's not the way you're supposed to be using the Force.
That's exactly what Luke wanted.
That's not how you use the Force.
Grogu, you have to take the ball and do this.
Can you imagine Luke is like, one day you'll meet Lizzo. He's like,
he's there meditating on that planet.
No, but you see what I'm saying.
This is not a laughing matter. He's using the Force the wrong way. He could fall into the dark hands. He can.
Yeah, he might get addicted to winning.
He's strong with the Force, and he has to be trained. And Din Djarin's good, but eventually he has to go back.
Well, that's what they originally planned, but unfortunately, Disney said no. I need to sell toys. Bring this guy back.
But that's the thing. There's a reason why these are so popular, right? I mean, kids have fallen... kid toys. There's Baby Grogu kid toys. There's everything.
Exactly.
People are obsessed with Grogu. And they can't just kick him off, because if they do, the views...
I don't think the views will dip, because we don't see Grogu in the episodes anymore. He wasn't in the pirate episode. He wasn't in this episode.
He still has little things where he does these cute little things, and then you're like, oh.
You know what it is, honestly? It's basically, you get TikToks of Grogu within the episode.
Yeah.
It's for the younger generation, It's like, give them a 3-second clip, they'll be happy. You know what I mean?
Grogu's put him all over some pranks.
It's that. No, but that's what it is. They just give you snapshots of Grogu, and he's happy. And I think that if you take him out, I think the show still works. But you're right. Maybe a lot of the younger generation will drop out. They'll say, bun that. I don't want to see Ugnaughts. I want to see Grogu. And
he caught to the story.
Yeah. So
it's not the kids who are going to call and complain. It's the kids' parents, because they're like, my child doesn't want to watch Star Wars anymore. Because Grogu's up there. And
I'm saving money on not buying these toys. No, it's making me mad.
But see, what's the flip side of that now? Then you get episodes like this, because now that they forced Grogu back into season 3, they basically need to say, okay, well, they're catering for the kids. We'll make a show for kids. So what do we get? We get Lizzo. We get Jack Black. Come, sip. All that fucking garbage, all that crap. You know what I mean? It's a show for kids now. You know what I mean? And Star Wars is for kids. It's designed for kids and adults. It's for everybody. Yeah,
it's also on Disney, so yeah, it's for kids. We're adults watching a kid show. Sorry to tell you guys.
Yeah. No, but listen, season 1 of Mando.
No, I need to go play my video games.
Season 1 of Mando was hardcore. There was a lot of violence and shooting and killing, and
it
was intense. And there was that creepy scene when Gina Carano's character showed up, and they had the walker, the AT walker. It was terrifying, But all that's gone now. So, anyways, we'll see where it goes from here. Thank you guys for joining me for this talk. I really appreciate it. It was fantastic. I do not look forward to the next episode, but I'm still gonna watch it.
No, it'll be better.
We don't have a choice.
I'm still having a good time. I still have a good time watching it. So
But like before, I was excited for the next episode. Now I'm in my Last of Us mode. I'm like, okay, let's get through it.
okay, that one episode soured it for you.
Last of Us.
Don't be baby Wajin. It's okay.
This episode.
No. I'm telling you right now. This set it up for me. I'm telling you right now that it's gonna be a flop at the end. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, man. And I'd rather just anticipate it than just be let down again. So
That's fair.
We on that note, I guess we're wrapping up here.
yeah,
Are we trading Daniel's redhead for Allison's redhead?
that works for me.
One ginger for another?
It works better because it's more like aesthetically pleasing because everybody has glasses and I have glasses, so now we all have glasses. Daniel
There
doesn't.
we go.
I'm just gonna come out and say it when Danny watches it. If you watch it, she just called you fuck ugly. But anyways,
It's true. You need some glasses to cover up that like thick ass lenses.
No, he doesn't have glasses. That's it.
oh man. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys another one.
Problem. All right, see you later.